It was 1988 when Scotland's most advanced offshore oil rig exploded. Within minutes, it vanished beneath the waves. For 3 months, investigators struggled to find the cause. Then, a small paper scrap recovered from the wreckage revealed the truth behind the disaster. In 1976, the offshore oil platform called Piper Alpha started extraction and production of oil in this part of the deserted sea, 190 kilometers from the Scottish city of Everdeen. There was also the ability to tolerate the storm of the hour. It was in a part of the sea where no city is inhabited far and wide, but Piper Alpha was a city in its own way, because at one time there lived 226 workers who worked 24 hours in shifts. Being a high-tech rig of its era, as well as Piper Alpha was also the world's most productive rig, which, in its good times, it used to produce more than 3 lakh barrels of oil daily. Seeing its success after 4 years, that is, in the early 1980s, it was also used for the processing of natural gas and liquid petroleum gas. Its total weight was 200,000 tons, which is equal to about 100 train engines, and if its height is estimated, then it is from the surface of the sea. It was 90 feet high, while more than half of it used to be under the sea. Name? Yes, it was not a floating oil platform, but surprisingly, its foundation was raised from the bottom of the 750 feet sea. Piper Alpha's main work was the production of oil, which was done on the production deck. There were many modules installed on this deck, in which Module A pumped oil and gas, Modules B and C processed oil and gas, and to power all these and meet the electricity needs of the entire rig, Module D was equipped with heavy generators. For Piper Alpha, there was an army of more than 200 workers for whom compartments were built above the production deck. Workers used to do their off-shift, for which entertainment, cafeteria and sleeping quarters were also present. July 6, 1988 was just another routine workday for these offshore workers. At 7:45 a.m., maintenance staff requested permission from the control room to service a pump. The control room shift operator granted permission after completing the paperwork. This was standard procedure for maintaining safety on offshore oil platforms, so nothing seemed out of the ordinary. Typically, offshore rigs pump oil and gas from deep underwater, process it, and export it via pipelines using compressor pumps. We're dealing with crude oil, natural gas, and LPG, all highly flammable fuels. For safety, multiple valves are installed in this process. If a pump fails, the valve for dangerous gas from the ground automatically closes. On Piper Alpha's deck, Pump A was compressing gas while Pump B was on standby as backup. Typically, pumps run for days before switching for rest or if one fails. At noon, workers were maintaining Pump B's safety valve as scheduled and approved that morning. By 6 p.m. they hadn't finished, so they planned to continue the next day. There was no danger as Pump A was working fine. If any issue arose at night, the gas valve would auto shut off. As the morning shift ended, workers handed over to the night shift team. The night shift had 62 workers, while 164 others went to rest in the upper living quarters. It was a routine night for the shift workers, but things soon took a turn. At 9:45 p.m., the control room got an alarm. Pump A had tripped. This pump compressed gas at 78 atmospheres, 50 times the pressure in a car tire. A team rushed to restart Pump A, but it wouldn't budge. Gas was building up underground, and if the pump didn't start in 30 minutes, the gas valve would close, halting the entire rig's production. While not extremely dangerous, workers were desperate to avoid a shutdown at all costs. The operators now had only one option left: to start the backup pump. So he went to the control room and looked in the maintenance sheet and found that the morning shift people had not yet started maintenance work on Pump B. Seeing that it was decided to turn on Pump B, everything became normal as soon as Pump B was started. But after 10 minutes at 9:55, many more alarms started ringing in the control panel, and it was not. There were no warning alarms, but these were gas leakage alarms. That is, it was a sign that there was a gas leak somewhere in the rig. Now the control room staff would do something else, that suddenly there was a loud explosion and the fire erupted in the rig. The captain of a maintenance ship passing nearby saw this whole scene, who told that the first blue color flame was flared in the rig. This explosion created a stir in the entire rig. Some workers saved their lives by jumping into the water, while following the SOP, some started waiting for helicopter rescue. So all the automatic safety system of the rig was activated, who shut down generators, pumps and compressors where there was a noise for 24 hours. Now there was a creepy silence, but this silence could not last long. At 10:20, there was a second explosion in the rig. Now there was no question of helicopter rescue due to smoke and raging fire nearby ships which were installing underwater pipelines. From there, this whole scene was also seen and recorded. By this time, this news had spread like fire. News channels from all over the world, including Europe, started reporting this accident. Now something else would have been done to extinguish the fire. That a third explosion shook the entire Piper Alpha. As a result, production modules and living quarters were lost to the sea. The day, which was a routine working day, was now going to be a regrettable day of the date. 167 workers lost their lives in the Piper Alpha accident, while 59 workers managed to save their lives in very difficult circumstances. From the first blast to the third explosion, it took a full 1.5 hours to destroy Piper Alpha, and this news gave the biggest shock to the oil industry. Workers working on other rigs started resigning from their jobs, and many oil platforms were closed in the name of safety checkups. The biggest question was being raised that how such an advanced and so productive rig was destroyed. An investigation team was set up which had to get to the bottom of the matter. But they had photographic evidence and a few eyewitnesses. At first, no one knew the real cause of this accident. But after 3 months, when the debris of the rig was taken out of the bottom of the sea, a paper document was found in it, which opened the whole truth and put it in front of the whole thing. Permission was sought on a separate document to maintain, and the investigation team got the same document. The night shift people saw that the maintenance was not started on pump B before turning it on, but they did not see the document to remove the safety valve of pump B lying in the second box. In fact, the day shift people had already removed. Both the pump and the safety valve are present in different rooms. That is why no one noticed that the safety valve of pump B is not present. Due to the absence of the safety valve of pump B, the gas leaked from it, and within 10 minutes the firewall of the gas module burst out and suddenly a fire broke out in it. The fire in Module C quickly spread to Module B, where thousands of tons of crude oil were stored in cylinders. This crude oil ignited, causing a second explosion that damaged the LPG gas line, leading to a third blast. To grasp the scale of this disaster, consider that Piper Alpha contained enough gas to meet the entire UK's domestic needs. This small error cost the company $2 billion and tragically many lives. Today, a memorial sculpture park in Aberdeen, Scotland honors these workers with families visiting regularly. We hope you'll like and share. Thanks for your kind comments. See you in the next great video.